lots of great panels. I think the dynamics on the panels are always fun to see different people kind of come together. Panels on leadership and social commerce.
Welcome to Honest eCommerce, a podcast dedicated to cutting through the BS and finding actionable advice for online store owners. I'm your host, Chase Clymer, and I believe running a direct-to-consumer brand does not have to be complicated or a guessing game. On this podcast, we interview founders and experts who are putting in the work and creating real results. I also share my own insights from running our top Shopify consultancy, Electric Eye. We cut the fluff in favor of facts to help you grow your e-commerce business. Let's get on with the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Honest eCommerce. Today, I'm bringing to the show not one, but two amazing women. Kristin Schoenstein and Elizabeth Robillard are the program directors for eTail Palm Springs, an amazing conference that I personally am going to here in a couple weeks. Sean is also going, if you know my business partner, and this is a wild one. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary this year. Kristin and Elizabeth, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Chase. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
I'm excited to get into it. So I'm going to try to direct these questions to each of you so we can keep from talking over ourselves, because I know we're so excited about this conference. So Kristin, quickly, talk to me a bit about your job. What are you supposed to do for the conference? You know, how does this relate to the industry as a whole?
Sure. I'm the program director for the show along with Liz. So we co-produce the event. And basically our role is to conduct research every year, kind of get a feel for what's going on in the retail landscape, and use that information to write a program. So we put together all of the program content and recruit the speakers for the show, and just sort of work with our advisory board and develop the event every year. So we handle all of the kind of pre-planning related to the program. And then on site, we're doing a lot of speaker wrangling and just making sure the show runs smoothly and all the presentations are what they're supposed to be. So it's an interesting role. It's fun. It's great to just be able to talk to so many different people in the industry and then see it all come together, of course. In a couple weeks, we're like 6.5 weeks out. So we're getting really close.
Absolutely. So Elizabeth, Kristin just mentioned that you look at the trends and it helps you kind of like figure out what the conference is, some of the talk tracks, et cetera, who's going to talk about these things. What were some of the trends that you guys noticed this year?
Yeah, I think we've got sort of 5 major trends that we're seeing, and Kristin can talk about a couple of them too. But obviously AI all across the board. And I think not just
no surprise.
For us. Yeah, no surprise, but not just kind of like the general concept of it. I feel like there's a lot of just chatter about just kind of, big sky thinking about the concept, but really dialing down to every different department, how they can use it, how they are actually using it. I think we've got a lot of, practical information that we've taken in that, will be interesting. We've got some sessions on that at the event, but definitely AI, I think first big one. What else? Social commerce, lots going on in the social world. Obviously, we've got, some cool sessions on the program that's going to cover a lot of that, but anything having to do with TikTok shop, obviously anything under the sun having to do with Instagram, that kind of stuff. So, those are 2. Kristin.
Yeah. Live shopping.
Yeah. Live shopping. Yes.
Can fall in that bucket. That's a big one. Partnerships is, again, another big area. So many different collaborations. I'm sure maybe when you think partnerships, you might think of like Mattel and the Barbie partnerships that we saw everywhere this year. But yeah, retailers are really taking advantage of that. And we do have some sessions highlighting very cool partnerships. I just added one to the program this week that we're excited about, that kind of, she used the word news-jacked a mediable moment, and the mediable moment was the Kelsey Taylor Swift thing that happened. And this was in October. This is Minted. So the head of social for Minted is going to be talking about a partnership that they did with the Kelsey family, with Jason Kelsey and his family, and how they talked about their holiday season. And so she'll talk about that whole partnership that they put together in 10 days with the Kelsey family. So that's one example of a partnership that we're excited to share. We just added that to the program.
Yeah.
Liz has one too, I think. Liz, don't you have the
Yes.
Target's going to be talking about partnerships too.
Target's going to be talking about partnerships, which is great. And then we've got one with, I don't know if you've seen the ads for P-Volve. It's like that sort of like at-home fitness thing, but they partnered with Jennifer Aniston. So she's all over their ads. So they're going to be talking a little bit about that partnership too. But yeah, anything partnerships. We got lots of it.
That's amazing. Now, if I'm a listener to this show, I work in e-commerce, why should I go to conferences? What's in it for me? What are the cool things I should be getting out of it?
That's a great question. For me, I think one of the best things about conferences, while we do have a lot of great content, I think the one thing that you get at a live show that you wouldn't get anywhere else is just that sort of opportunity to chat, in small groups with people. I think that's what we always hear, is that the most valuable part of the event is really that sort of quick moment you have with someone at lunch, or that moment at a round table. There's just, there's 2,000 people there that you could meet that are going through the same issues that you're going through, that might have some small fix that you haven't tried, some, little fine tuning that you could do to sort of up your game. So I would say that networking piece, at a show like eTail, it might seem overwhelming with the amount of people that are there, but we always try to make sure that there's really those opportunities for some of those like more small, quiet moments. I don't know why I keep saying quiet, but those more intimate moments where you can kind of have a really good conversation with a new person. So that's what I think. Kristin, what do you think?
I agree. I mean, we spend a lot of time kind of making sure we include different formats on the program and different opportunities for people. Like we have women in retail, and we have something specific to the C-suite. Like we have a C-suite retreat. We have these like roundtables that are just retailer-led roundtables. We have roundtables based on revenue. So we sort of try to come up with lots of different opportunities for people to meet and network and just like exchange ideas outside of just your traditional like general session, keynote scenario. So, and of course the expo is always buzzing and lots going on there. Opportunities to meet vendors, the expo.
Yeah. If you want a free knockoff Stanley Cup, I'm sure you're going to get a dozen there.
Free stuff. Yeah.
Lots of free stuff. That's for sure.
I would love to see your guys' data on, because I know every time I go, you ask me like what I got out of it. And number one is networking. I can personally tell you that the people you will meet and interact with, that's the reason to go. But the content is also super exciting. And you mentioned some stuff about the partnerships and the content. Is there any other kind of content that you're allowed to speak about that you're excited about?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, what are some of our other exciting sessions? We've got a great session with VF Corp, the VP of Diversity and Inclusion with VF, Lauren Guthrie. She's going to be talking about their big sort of mission to take DE&I and put it in action, not just talk about it, but really how they've managed to, across all of their brands, which is a lot of brands, they've managed to sort of create this action plan, get involved with different communities. So I'm super excited about that session. What else do we have going on?
Just lots of fireside chats, which with executives, which is fun. So bringing in media and having them do an interview and talking about everything from like career path to digital transformation, whatever it is. That's always like a fun format to see an executive kind of chat through, what they're doing. So we'll do a bunch of those. We have one with Michaels, one with Lowe's, one with PetSmart. We have Sam's Club coming doing that. So busy mornings kind of filled with those types of sessions, and then lots of great panels. I think the dynamics on the panels are always fun to see different people kind of come together. Panels on leadership and social commerce, of course, lots of topics. So it's the program is jammed.
It's very full.
Our panels are very full this year, which is good. We have over 200 retail speakers confirmed and more that are trying to speak. As of today, I was sending like the last 2 panel spots that I have left. So it's a packed program. Lots to do and say, that's for sure.
That's exciting. And it's also just wild to me that the event itself legally can now rent a car. This is the 25th anniversary of this thing. But I guess the internet's been around for a while. So with it being the 25th anniversary, is there anything that you can share about that?
Sure. We have a few surprises. But I think just, knowing that the event is 25 years old and we've had people who have been coming to the show for 10, 15, 20 years, we're going to play some fun kind of games just to kind of see like history of the show, who's been coming and recognize those people and just have some fun with looking back to over the history of the show and kind of seeing how we've evolved and how the industry's evolved. And, it started as 100 people in the room. So 100 to 2,500, it's a long time, a lot of progression. So we're going to have some fun with that.
we have some staff members that have been working on it for 20 plus years as well. So just,
yes,
getting everyone together. It's a pretty long standing team. So it's kind of a fun little reunion for us every year too, because there's people that, we don't get to see all the time. So it'll be kind of fun for our team as well. But also, lots of fun stuff happening for attendees as well.
Well, you forgot that you're excited to meet me in real life, Elizabeth.
Absolutely. Yes, definitely, Chase.
Yeah. Kristin, when she's in show mode, she's looking, it's crazy, but she's very nice. So you can say hi to all of us. And
I'm moving quickly.
Yes. And there's a podcast booth this year that they've told me is amazing. So you will find me lurking about there. But no, I'm super excited about it. If there's like one thing that you wanted like a retailer to keep in mind about 2024, like what would that be?
Maybe like don't overdo it. We always say like, sometimes you can go to the show and you want to do everything, but you really do have to kind of plan your time and, make sure. And it's always good to divide and conquer too. So like bring a group. That's the best, because then you can kind of all go in different directions and then come back and collaborate.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I think that's good.
Elizabeth, Kristin, thank you so much for coming on. Everyone listening, I will be in attendance at that conference. I think it's very useful for anyone that is in this e-commerce industry to get out, to network, to learn. It's going to be an amazing program. There's going to be a bunch of information in the show notes, and I'm sure I'll have you guys back on in a couple of months, and we'll talk about the one that's going to be on the East Coast.
Awesome. Thanks, Chase.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Chase.
We can't thank our guests enough for coming on the show and sharing their knowledge and journey with us. We've got a lot to think about and potentially add into our own businesses. You can find all the links in the show notes. You can subscribe to the newsletter at honestecommerce.co to get each episode delivered right into your inbox. If you're enjoying this content, consider leaving a review on iTunes. That really helps us out. Lastly, if you're a store owner looking for an amazing partner to help you get your Shopify store to the next level, reach out to Electric Eye at electriceye.io/connect. Until next time.